All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Katie, and I work at the Sacramento Public Library, where books are just the beginning. Thank you so much for joining us for our Reach and Read program. We're so happy to have you and to have local yoga instructor Kat Sun with us today. And we'll get to her in just a moment. But first, I wanted to mention a few things. So first is just some housekeeping. We have disabled all of the mic lines for all participants, but you can feel free to use the chat function at any point during the program to share any questions or comments that you may have, and either myself or Kat will get back to you. If you're having any audio related issues, please exit the program and re-enter. We find that doing that will typically solve that issue. If you need closed captioning at any point during the program, please click the live transcript button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You'll click that button, wait just a moment, and then you'll see the closed captioning pop up and you can follow along. And I will make sure to put that in the chat as well. And also, I always like to mention this. We ask for your grace and understanding in this virtual platform that we are on today. If there is some kind of a delay, one of the hosts drops off, or we experience any other type of interruption, please allow time for us to pick up and resume the program. And then also, this program is being recorded and it will be shared to the virtual yoga playlist on our YouTube channel. And in case you haven't checked it out before, you can find past videos and lots of other goodies on our YouTube channel, which is under Sacramento Public Library. So usually I'm able to get the recording up by the following week, kind of early in the week, so make sure to check back for it. And then stick around after the yoga demonstration for a short book talk based on this week's theme. And then I wanted to share that the Sacramento Public Library is a Healthy People 2030 champion, meaning that we are helping the community to lead healthier lives. And the CDC recommends that adults get 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity and 2 days of muscle strengthening activity per week. And getting or staying active can have great short-term and long-term benefits to your health. And you're about to get 45 minutes of movement, so you are on the right path. So to find out more information about Move Your Way from CDC, you can go to health.gov/move your way. All right. And then, of course, we have tons of different resources available at the library for your health. So like I mentioned, we have past recordings of virtual yoga programs available on our YouTube channel. We do regular Zumba on Mondays virtually at 5:30. And then we have a Zumba Gold program on Wednesdays at 4, which is great for beginners and older adults to join. And then, of course, you can always check out a book about the benefits of exercise, mindfulness, and yoga from our collection. And then quickly, I wanted to just mention that we are coming to the end of this particular session of Reach and Read. So we will have today's session and then one on the 8th, and then we'll take a break and come back with a new theme and a whole new series of sessions on January 5th. So I will make sure to share more information about that with you in an email, so keep an eye out for that. So today I'll go ahead and turn things over to Kat. So Kat, take it away, and everyone please enjoy.
Great. Good morning. Thank you, Katie. And good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining us. So as y'all know, this 7-week series has been loosely structured around the 7 chakras that commonly in the West gets depicted in the spectrum of the rainbow from red up to violet. And so this being the 6th week, we're at the 6th chakra moving up. So we're here at the third eye, the Agnya chakra, which is often related with intuition and inner seeing. In the previous 5, I was also mentioning the element that we're related with, but here we are at the Mahatattva, so it's basically like the gray element that all the other elements stem from. So we won't so much be focusing on that, but we'll be kind of tuning inwards in order to drop into just the inner sensing. Okay, so with that, as always, I'm offering this from home, so I apologize in advance for any accessory noise you might hear on the Zoom call. And as always, you're going to want to have your props nearby. So obviously a yoga mat, and then having a couple of yoga blocks, a yoga strap or a belt, dog leash, anything to help extend your reach is always good. and then maybe a blanket. So those are kind of the basics that we generally like to have. So as always, let's take a moment to start on our backs. Go ahead and have a folded blanket or a little cushion underneath your head for a little prop. Have your blocks and your strap nearby within reach. And we'll just do a general warm up that we often start with. So as you arrive onto your back, just take a moment to land. So maybe your hands can, you can have your legs straight if that's comfortable for the back, but often people with low back issues find it more comfortable to have the knees bent and the feet on the floor, the knees pointing up to the sky. In which case you can walk your feet out wider to let your knees knock in and they can support each other so they hold each other up. You can have your hands out to the sides, palms up, or you can have your palms turned down and maybe hands on the body somewhere, maybe one on the belly, one at the heart center. And then just take a few moments to arrive here. So always checking in where we start from. So just as you land, take a few rounds of breath, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. Maybe at the beginning, take a moment to just open your mouth a little, wiggle out your jaw, stretch out your tongue, stretch out your face, and then keeping your mouth nice and soft, you can gently let the lips and the teeth come back together, or the lips come back together. And then let's take a big breath in through our nose, and this time exhale it out through your mouth, clear it out. We'll do another one. Inhale in through your nose, big breath in. Clearing breath out as you exhale. And one more. Deep inhalation in. Clearing exhalation. Really arrive. Drop in. Then start to notice your breath now. Notice the rise of the inhale and the fall of the exhale. Just riding your natural breath. Just start to bring your outer sense organs to quiet those outer sensing organs and focusing inwards. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice how you feel in your body. Notice how you're feeling in your emotional, mental body as well. Good. And then we're going to open our arms out wide, palms facing up, arms are out in a T. If your legs are straight, bend your knees. Everybody plant your feet on the floor, walk your feet mat width apart, so nice and wide apart from each other. The knees are pointing up to the sky. We're going to inhale. And as always, we're going to exhale. Let both knees now rock to the right. And you can gently turn your head to the left. Inhale, we come up through center. And exhale, other direction. Knees to the left, head rocks to the right. So nice and easy. Starting to bring some gentle movement through the body with the ebb and flow of our breath. Inhaling through neutral and exhaling, twisting to one side. Then next exhalation, you twist to the other side. Nice and slow. Just notice how this feels in the body this morning. And then the next time you inhale to neutral, let's pause. We're going to take our arms up to the sky. We're going to bend the elbows and clasp the elbows. Take a breath in. And now as you exhale, your knees and your head are going to spin to the right as you slide your elbows left. Inhale, we come through center. And exhale, rock it to the other side. So I often like to open with these two sequences. This is a way to gently bring movement into our body as we link movement with breath. So it's a nice time to just check in and notice how things are feeling as you gently rock and twist and move and breathe. Good. And then bring the whole thing back to neutral and release. From here, we're actually going to roll onto our belly this morning. So you can move that blanket out of the way and instead stack your hands one on top of the other, elbows out, and then let that hand stack be a pillow for your forehead, bringing your forehead down. Just take a moment to arrive onto your belly this morning. And now with your forehead resting on the hand stack, just take a beat to soften your eyes, relax your mouth, soften the space between your eyebrows, your forehead. And just take a beat here. Notice how does it feel to now be on your belly. Feel the whole front body grounding into the earth, supported by the earth. And then with your next inhale, press your forearms into the floor to lift your heart. Shoulder blades move down the back. Press your pubic bone down into the earth. Keep your low back long. And then exhale, gently bring it back down. So we're going to press our toenails into the floor as we hug our outer ankles in. Again, lengthen your tailbone long into the floor. Press through the hands into the forearms, into the earth. Lift the heart. Shoulder blades down the back, back of the neck long. And again, exhale, bring it down. One more time. Inhale, rising up. So everything is still pressing down into the earth. And lower it back down. And then from here, you're going to just open your right knee out to the right. So with the right knee bent, open your right knee out to the right. So right knee is in line with the hip. Inner edge of the right foot is on the floor. Inner right knee is on the floor. Left leg is still nice and long. And then again, pressing down through the toenails of the left foot, hug the outer left ankle in, lengthen your tailbone long, press down into the hands and the forearms, lift the heart, shoulder blades down the back, back of the neck long, stretching out the belly, stretch out the front of the body, and exhale, bring it back down. And then we're gonna bend to the right, so start to bend to the right, bringing your right elbow towards your right knee, and you can even turn your head to look to the right knee and take a stretch on the left side. Breathe into the left seam of your body. And you can stay here, or again, you can press into your forearms to lift the heart, coming to a heart lift in the side bend here. And then you can keep it just like that, or you can, that straight left leg, you can bend the left knee to bring the left foot in the air. And if you lift the left foot in the air, then you can circle your left ankle. And you can circle it the other way. And then if your left foot is lifted, go ahead, bring it back down. Bring your heart back down if your chest is lifted. And then you're gonna go ahead and straighten yourself out onto the mat again. Sorry, it's my dad. He makes lots of noises. Forehead down. And then pull your right knee back in. So both legs nice and long. Take a beat. And just notice maybe this one side feels different from the other after that. So just notice the effects. Go ahead and change the hand so the other hand stacks on top now. So if you had the right hand on top before, have the left hand on top now. And again, rest the forehead. Press both toenails into the floor. Hug the outer ankles in. Lengthen that tailbone long. And again, press the front of the pubic bone down into the floor as you lift your heart. Shoulder blades down the back. Stretch out the front body again. And exhale, bring it back down. This time we're going to bend the left knee out to the left. So bending your left knee out to the left in line with the hip. So inner knee, inner edge of the foot are on the floor. And then again, press into the right toenails. Press the right toenails down into the floor. Hug the outer right ankle in. Pressing down through the forearms as you lift your heart into this asymmetrical little mini cobra like or asymmetrical sphinx pose. And then bring it back down. From here, we're gonna bend to the left. So starting to bend to the left as you bring your left elbow towards your left knee. You can turn your head to look at the left knee and breathe into the right seam of your body here. You can keep it just like this, or if you like, you can start again to press into the top of the toenails of that straight right leg, foot, and then lifting your heart, coming up onto the forearms perhaps as you side bend to the left. Whether your heart is up or down, you have the option if you like to bend the right knee now, bringing your right foot in the air. And if your right foot's in the air, you can circle that ankle. And again, you can circle it the other way. And then we'll gently release that back down. Bring your heart back down. And then we'll straighten out again onto our mat. And then once your spine is in alignment on the mat, you can bring the leg back in as well. Nice and long. And again, just take a moment, notice the effects. One more time through center. So press both feet, toenails of both feet into the earth. Hug the outer ankles in, lengthen the tailbone towards the floor. And then pressing down through the hands and the arms, lifting the heart, shoulder blades down the back. Nice and long through the back of the neck, back of the skull, lengthen the front body. And then exhale, bring the whole thing down. From here, we're going to bring our hands to the sides of the heart, palms down. And then we're going to press down in order to come on up. And we're going to press back into a child's pose. So big toes are together, knees are apart. You can, for some, it might be better to first come into puppy pose, in which case you can keep your hips stacked over your knees, walk your hands forward. So like downward dog arms, ground the ball of the index and thumb, and then spread the palms, and then you let your head come between the arms. You can pause here. So it's like downward dog, upper body, but you keep your hips over your knees, and then you hug your navel up. So you can stay here, or if it's appropriate, you can start to sink the hips towards the heels as it comes towards child's pose. And if you're coming towards child's pose, you might find it's helpful to have a blanket. You can have a folded blanket between the heels and the hips. You can also have blocks underneath your forehead and chest if you need them. So you're kind of high up, then you might find it's helpful to have a block under your forehead, one underneath your chest, and then something underneath your hips to so you have something to ground into. So whether you're using the props or not, let your forehead ground down into something here. And then you can gently rock a little side to side on your forehead, so massage above your brow line. Just soften your face, soften your eyes, soften your thinking mind. Breathe into the body, breathe into the back of the body. Notice where you feel the breath moving in and out. And then from here, we're going to inhale. We're going to roll up onto our knees. So we're going to come up to our knees. So I didn't say before, I'm sorry, but if you have sensitive knees and you want to take extra padding, you can always open up a folded blanket underneath your knees for some extra padding if you need that. So once up on our knees, we're going to take our arms out and up. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up, palms touch at the top, greeting the day. And then exhale, we're going to hinge and fold. We're going to swan dive, bow into the earth. And then take your arms forward towards the top of the mat. We're going to inhale, coming up into half plank. So slide your hips forward as you stack your shoulders over your wrists. Let your hips drop. Here, hug your inner thighs up towards the ceiling. Hug your navel up towards your spine. Hug your sternum up into your shoulder blades. But then lengthen your tailbone down towards the earth. Keep all of that. Hug your elbows in. Take another breath in. And then nice and slow, we're going to exhale all the way down to our bellies. All the way back onto the bellies, forehead on the floor, hands stay by the heart on the floor. Press down into the toenails again. Hug those outer ankles in, lengthen your tailbone long, and then shrug your shoulders, lift the heart. Little mini cobra. And then exhaling, we're pressing it up and back into child's pose. And then take another child's pose, take a beat. Again, when you come to child's pose, let it be a resting pose. So checking in with your breath. Again, soften your face, soften the space between the eyebrows, your forehead, soften the thinking mind. With our next inhale, again, rising up onto our knees, spin your palms out and up, greeting the day. And as we exhale, bowing into the earth. Sweep those arms to the top of the mat. As you inhale, come up into half plank. Again, slide your shoulders over the wrists, let the hips drop. One nice long line from torso through thigh. Hug those elbows in, hug everything up, but the tailbone lengthens down. And then nice and slow with the exhale, lower it all the way back down onto your belly. Once you're down, forehead on the floor, hands on the floor by the heart. Press down into the toenails, lengthen the lengthen the tailbone. Shrug your shoulders, lift the heart, mini cobra. And again, exhale, press it up and back into child's pose again. And take another beat in child's pose. Every time we come through child's pose, notice if the pose shifts at all. If it starts to feel different. And then again, inhale, let's come up onto our knees again. Sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, bowing, turning to earth. Slide those hands towards the top of the mat. Inhale, coming up into that half plank. Keep those elbows hugging in as you lower down to the belly. Nice and slow. Once you're down, set it up, coming into that mini cobra as you inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, press it up and back. Child's pose again. And again, take a beat. Breathe. Last one of these. When you're ready, coming back up onto the knees, greet the day, greet the sun, behind the clouds and the rain. Exhale, swan diving, bowing into the earth. Slide those hands up towards the top of the mat, sliding into half plank on that inhale. Keep those elbows in, lowering down to the belly on the exhale. Forehead on the floor. When you're ready, set it up, activate those legs, lengthen the tail, lift the heart, mini cobra on the inhale. And last time, exhale, press it up and back, child's pose again. Once you arrive into child's pose again, gently rock a little side to side above your forehead, on your forehead. So massaging above your brow lines, soften the forehead into the support of the earth. So again, if your forehead isn't grounded, maybe have a block or a book or something that you can just let the forehead be grounded into something. We ground the forehead there, we really help to soften the mind, soften the eyes, soften the thinking mind in order to breathe into the feeling body. And then from here, let's go ahead, inhale, lift up the chest. We're going to come into a seated position now, so you can have a folded blanket or a cushion to sit up on, or if you'd rather sit on a chair, you can sit at the front edge of a chair that's steady, nothing that's going to roll. If you're sitting on a chair, make sure it's a stationary chair. If you're coming to a seat, then come to the front edge of something to sit on. So I've got a folded blanket I'm sitting on, and I'm at the front edge of it to help arch my low back in. So once you come onto your seat, rock to the front edge of your sit bones. And then let's all do a big shoulder circle. So hands on the legs, shrug your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Again, big shoulder circles, forward, up, back, and down. One more time. This time as your shoulders move back and down, keep those shoulder blades sliding back and down. Feel the whole back body sliding down into the earth. And then in the front body, gently hug your navel in and lift it up a little bit. Feel your collarbones broad, heart is buoyant. And then from the back, as you can imagine, like from the sides of the throat, from the front of the throat, you're sliding the front of the throat back, along the sides of the throat back. And as you get to the back, it slides up behind the ears to elongate the back of the neck, back of the skull. And then hands on your thighs. Take a breath in here. Feel yourself nice and tall now. Rooted into earth and reaching up into the heavens. Take a breath in and a breath out. With our next inhale, we're going to sweep our arms out and up again. Palms together at the top. As you exhale, slide it down through your midline and just touch the earth at the bottom of your exhale. Ground it down. Again, palms up, inhale, sweep up, gather all that goodness. Bring it down through you as you exhale. Seeing yourself as this channel between earth and heaven, grounding into earth. One more time, inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, bring it down. All the way, touch earth. This time, inhale, out and up. And keep your right arm lifted, bring your left fingertips down. Walk your fingertips on the floor away from you, or if you're seated in a chair, you're just going to point the fingertips away from you at a diagonal. And then we're going to bend the right elbow, and we're going to gently tilt our head to the right as we walk the left fingertips away from us. Breathing into the left side of our neck, down into the left shoulder, left arm, left fingertips, down into the earth. And then you're going to keep it all just like that, but you're going to take that right hand off the head and then just spin to look into your right armpit. So bringing your chin towards your right collarbone. And then again, gently tilt your head to the right, walk your left fingertips away. Breathing here. And then everything stays as it is. You're just going to take the right hand off the head again. Keep your head tilted, but just spin to look straight forward. Keep the head tilted. And again, gently tilt the head to the right. Walk your left fingertips away. Now take your right hand off the head and bring it to the right side of your face. And use your right hand to help your head up. And then hands on your thighs. Again, big shoulder circle. Just notice the difference from one side to the other. Staying grounded, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Keep the left arm lifted, bring your right fingertips down, walk it away from you on the floor. And then go ahead and bend that left elbow, bring the hand to the right side of the face, and gently tilt your head to the left. Nice and easy. Walk the right fingertips away from you again, or again, if you're seated in a chair, you're just pointing the fingertips down and away from you at a diagonal, just to get that line of energy. Good. Everything stays as it is. You're just going to take the hand off the head, and then you're going to spin to look into your left armpit, bringing your chin toward your left collarbone. And then again, gently tilting the head to the left, walk the right fingertips away. Take the pressure of the hand off the head again. Keep your head tilted, but spin to look straight forward. And then again, one more time, tilting your head to the left, walk your right fingertips away. Breathe. Now you're going to take that hand off the head and bring it to the underside, bring it to the left side of your face, and help your head up. And then again, hands on your thighs, shrug your shoulders. Big shoulder circles. Okay. And then hands behind you. Bring your feet on the floor, knees bent. We're just going to windshield wiper our knees a little side to side. And then you're going to come back to cross-legged if you're on the floor with the other leg in front or on top. And then here, let's go ahead. Inhale, ground down. So same thing, ground down, arch your low back in, shoulder blades down, nice and tall. And then grounding down, sweep your arms out and up again. Now, as we exhale, we're going to spin to the right. So right hand behind us, left hand can reach for that right knee. So you could do the same thing if you're in a chair. You can just bring the hand to the back of the chair if you're seated in a chair. So first breath in, always to ground and lengthen. And then it's with the exhale that we start to move the twist up the spine, spinning the navel back, the diaphragm, the chest, the neck, the head, the gaze. Take a breath in, and everything stays spinning back. But with your next exhale, just spin your gaze, your head and your gaze forward. Look over your front left shoulder. Breathe in. And then we're going to unwind. Again, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, spin to the left. So left hand behind you, right hand reaching for the left knee perhaps. Ground down and lengthen tall with the inhale. And with the exhale, again, move that twist up the length of the spine. Maybe gazing back over your left shoulder now. Keep your low back still in. Keep your shoulder blades down. Keep your heart buoyant. One more breath in. Again, it's with the exhale that we spin our gaze forward. Look over your front right shoulder. And then let's go ahead and unwind. Okay, let's do a little bit of tapping. I think we might have done this last week, but you're going to use the fingertips. And you're going to just start at the top of the head, at the crown of the head. So find the sagittal ridge along the center, down the midline here, and then come towards the front of the skull. At the hairline, at the center of the hairline here. And then start to tap back, tap towards the top of the skull, at the crown of the head, and then keep tapping along that sagittal ridge, along the back of the skull, all the way down to the base of the skull, the occipital ridge, and start to tap along the base of the skull towards the ears. Maybe you can even gently tap the back of the jaw there. And if there's any place you find there is extra tension, it feels extra good to tap, you can always stay and linger. You can explore as you like. I'm just the general guide. From here, we're going to start to tap up the back of the ears, along the skull there, behind the ears, up towards the top, towards the temples. And then from the temples, tap up the hairline, back towards the top of the hairline. And then down onto your forehead. So go ahead and tap around your forehead a little bit. Notice what's here. Eyes are closed. And then tapping above your brow line. Tap the space between the eyebrows. Nice and gentle. And then from there, tapping along the brow line to the outer corners of the eyes. And then from the outer corner of the eyes, nice and soft, tap underneath the eyes. Breathing the whole time, feeling. Eyes are closed as you breathe, you tap, you feel. And then from there, it's down the sides of the nose, along your cheekbones, back out to the ears. And then from there, tap it back in towards above your lips, between the space between the nose and the upper lips. And then back to the outer corners of your mouth, and then back in towards the chin. From your chin, tap along your jawline all the way back out to the sides of the neck. From there, we're going to tap down the sides of the neck. So now maybe it could be a little bit stronger pressure as you tap the sides of the neck to the top of the shoulders. And then tapping underneath your collarbones, bring it back to the center at your sternum. Tapping the sternum. Tapping your chest. And then we're going to go rogue. So make fists. We're going Tarzan style. And I won't hear any of you, but go ahead and calling for your Jane. And then down underneath your chest at the diaphragm. And then into the belly. And the tops of the thighs. Fists now. And then front of the shins. Tops of the feet, open palms, slapping the tops of the feet, and then slap the soles of the feet, and then the inner seam of the legs back up, and then make fists, tap the outer hips, back of the hands making fists, tap the back body, up the back, pounding the kidneys a little bit, waking it all up. Come up as high as you can along the back body, and then go ahead, one hand on your chest. We're gonna go across the inner arm, and then to the palm, to the back of the hand, along the outer arm, back across your chest, switching hands, along the inner arm, to the palm, back of the hand, outer arm, and back across, and then at the chest, and then we're gonna go, and you gotta make the noise. Wash it all out, and shake it out. Okay, nice, good job. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and come up to standing. So find yourself in a nice, I'll change the angle of my camera. So find yourself in a nice standing position on your mat. If you got props on your mat, you can move them out of the way, but you might want to have some blocks nearby just in case you need them. And let's just take a moment to find Tadasana now. So just finding your mountain pose. You can have your feet just hip width apart underneath you, or if you're feeling really steady and balanced, you can always bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart. But just take a moment to look at your feet and make sure that they're more or less parallel. So sometimes we don't pay attention and we've got patterns in our bodies. So when we think we're all neutral, you're actually standing with one leg turned in a different direction than the other. And so just take a moment to look and line everything up and get the outer edges of the feet more or less parallel, or if you draw lines from the center of the index to the center of the heel, those lines are more or less parallel. And just see how that feels in your body. Does that feel neutral or does that feel weird? Does it feel uneven? You're just noticing. And then, as always, we're going to connect into our foundation. So rooting into your feet. Feel the ball of the big toes. Ground the balls of the big toes, and then ground the inner heel. And then bring your awareness to the ball of your pinky toe, ground it down, and the outer heel. So rooting the four corners of each foot, and then lifting the inner arches of the feet. Lift the inner ankles, lift the inner knees, and roll your inner thighs back. As you do so, feel the broadening of the sacrum in the back, and lengthen your tailbone straight down into the earth. And then hug your outer shins, hug them in towards each other. So find that dynamic neutral through the legs, and then shrug your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let your palms spin forward, and again, telescope the back of the neck, back of the skull up towards sky. Just take a beat. If you feel steady, you can even gently close your eyes. And if not, just soften your gaze. Find something steady to set your gaze on and soften the gaze. Take a breath and feel yourself rooted into earth and reaching up into heaven. And then if your eyes are closed, gently open your eyes. Everybody now find something steady to set your gaze on. And then look beyond it, softening the gaze. So it's almost rather than a focused attention on one thing, you're broadening the peripheral gaze, and your gaze becomes more inwards. And breathe. With our next inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Palms can touch at the top. As we exhale, we're going to hinge and fold. So bend your knees as you need. Hands onto the thighs for the first round. Send your booty back. Bring your heart forward. Inhale, lengthen the front body. Good. And then exhale, just fold over your thighs. So bend the knees as much as you need, only forward as much as you can. Press down into the earth. Come all the way back up. Arms out and up. Palms touch at the top. And again, exhale, we swan dive. Dive through like you're moving through water, nice and slow. Hands on the thighs or the shins. Lift that heart forward. Shoulder blades slide away from the ears. As you exhale, gently fold. Bend the knees as you need. We're pressing down to rise again. Coming all the way back up. Inhale, palms touch. Good. One more. Exhale, dive. Halfway lift as we inhale. Good. Fold as we exhale. Pressing down, rising all the way back up. Come up, 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 up. This time, clasp your right wrist with the left hand. Ground down through the right foot as you lift up through the right arm. And then slide the shoulder blades down the back. Keep your shoulder blades sliding down as you again ground and lengthen. And exhale, we tip it to the left. Take a breath. Inhale, bring it up. Switch hands. So clasping the left wrist with the right hand. Ground down through the left foot as you reach up with the left arm. And then shrug the shoulder blades down. Keep the shoulder blades down as you ground and lengthen up again. And then exhaling, we tip. Good. Bring it up. Inhale. This time we're going to open up to the left. So both arms open as you spin to look to the left, like you want to hug the wall there. So both palms are facing the left. And then you can spin your head and look back at your left thumb. Take a breath. And then keep everything spinning back, but just the neck, the head, the gaze spins forward. Look at your front right thumb. Good. Inhale, bring it all up. And exhale, spinning open to the right. And my dogs have decided they're joining us here. If that's Ume. Okay, so spinning your navel back, your chest back, your gaze back, looking back at your right thumb. And then keep it all spinning back. Just the neck, the head, the gaze spins forward. Look at your front left thumb. Good. Inhale, bring it back up. And again, exhaling, swan dive. Hands on your thighs or your shins. Lift that heart up halfway. Lengthen the front body. Fold as you exhale. Round to rise. Inhale, press it all the way up. Palms together at the top. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. From here, let's just take a triangle pose. So here, if you have some blocks, you might want to have them, or you can have like a piece of furniture. You can use a chair or something if you need, okay? So either a chair or some blocks off to the right side. So if you use blocks, you can even stack your blocks to make it a higher stack if you need more height. And then we're going to stand with the right foot next to the blocks. So here, I'm not going to mirror you guys actually. So right foot next to your prop. Point the four corners of the foot down. Point the toes forward. And then you're going to take the arch of the left foot into the heel of the right. And you're going to step it straight back on one line. So on a balancing beam. And then your hips are kind of diagonally turned forward and into the left. So your back foot is about 45-degree angled. You just want a nice, comfortable stance, something that you feel steady in. Yeah. And if you're wearing socks, you want to make sure you're feeling steady and stable. So if you need, you can take your socks off so you don't slip. Okay, so now hands on our hips. We're going to bend our back left knee. And as you straighten that leg, really ground the heel and the knife edge of the foot into the floor. Like you want to spin the heel out, but it doesn't move. Keep that grounding in the back knee. Bend your front knee. And then ground the ball of the big toe inner heel as you straighten that front leg. Keep your left hand on your hip. Reach your right hand forward, palm up. You're going to stay grounded in the back left heel as you lengthen that right arm up. Get length through the right seam. Keep the length. You're hinging just from the hip crease as you reach halfway forward. And then inhale, bring it back up. Again, exhale, hinge halfway forward. One more time. Inhale. Feel the length. Don't lose this length. Don't collapse into it. You're going to keep that nice and long. And then this time you can bring your hand onto your block, or you can bring it onto either your thigh or your shin, not on the knee. As best you can, let that front leg be straight without hyperextending. So if you're somebody who tends to hyperextend, then you keep a micro bend in the knee. But for most people, that's not an issue. So for most people, you're just working to ground the ball of the big toe inner heel as you straighten that front leg. And then shrug your shoulder blades down the back again. And then start to really shrug that left shoulder blade down the back and open your left chest up towards the sky. And now you can take your left hand behind the head and use your hand, press your head and your hand into each other to kind of open yourself up to the sky. And you can stay just like that, or you can take that left arm up if it's okay for your neck and look up at the thumb. Take another breath in. And with your next exhale, shift your gaze down. Look at that front right foot. And then pressing down, inhale, we rise up. Good. Hands to our hips. And then we can step to the top. Hope that was okay for everybody. Okay, and then you're gonna just switch to the other side. So if you're using blocks or a chair or anything, just move it to the other side or turn yourself around. And now the left foot is standing next to my props. Those toes are pointing straight forward. And then I'm gonna take the arch of the right foot into the heel of the left. And from there, I step that right foot straight back. So the heel of the front foot is on the same line as the arch of the back foot. Back foot's angled about 45 degrees. And I just have a comfortable stance where I feel steady and stable. From here, we're gonna bend our back knee. And again, really dig the heel and the knife edge of the foot into the floor like you wanna spin it out to get it in there. And keep that straight. And then you're gonna bend your front knee a little bit, ground the ball of the big toe, inner heel, and keep those 2 points grounded as you straighten that front leg. From there, keep your back hand on the hip. Take your, I think it's the right arm. Sorry if I'm saying the wrong side. Front arm reaches forward, palm up. You're gonna ground down as you lengthen up, reach up, up, up. Get all that space on that side. Don't collapse. Stay grounded in this back heel. You're gonna reach forward just halfway. Then we're gonna pulse 2 more times. Inhale, bring it up. Get length, get space. Keep the space and the length as you hinge forward. 1 more time. Good. Keep nice and long. Inhale, bring it up. This time as you exhale, go ahead. You can bring that hand onto your thigh or your shin, or maybe you've got props like furniture or something next to you, or your blocks. Stack the wrist underneath that shoulder. And then again, shrug your shoulders down the back and start to open your other chest up to the, so whatever hand that's still on the hip, that chest, you're rolling it open towards the sky. And then you're gonna take that back hand and bring it to behind your head. And press the back of the head into the hand and vice versa to open a little bit more. Breathe. From here, you can keep the hand there or you can take the arm up and gaze up. Just 1 more breath. With your next exhale, shift your gaze down. Look at the front foot and then pressing down. Inhale, we rise up. Good. And then hands on our hips. And step it up. Shake it out. Okay. We're just going to do a little bit of balancing. So again, have a wall or a piece of furniture if you need help with your balance. If you're not sure, just have something nearby just in case, right? So here I've got a chair. You can also use a wall, whatever you need. We're going to start by, here I'm going to mirror you. So we're going to start by being on our right foot. So ground the 4 corners of the right foot. Bring a little micro bend into that knee so it's not completely locked. Left hand on the hip. And then go ahead, come onto the ball of the left foot. And then you're going to spin the left knee and the left toes out to the left. And just start here, bringing the heel onto the ankle of the standing leg. Hug that standing right hip, hug it in. So don't sink into it. Hug it in. Nice and tall, still nice and tall, like Tadasana, through the spine, through the hip. Good. And then from here, if you feel steady, before you go, find that drishti again. So find something steady and stable to put your gaze on, and then gently look beyond it. So soften that gaze and let the gaze be more of an inward gaze. And remember to breathe. So staying with your breath, and then you can see if it's available, you can slide that foot up the inseam of that standing leg shin, inner shin, just not against your knee joint. So it's either below the knee or it's above the knee, wherever you find it. And then just taking a breath. Again, keep that outer, that standing leg hip hugging in, shoulder blades down the back. And just breathe. Now, if you're feeling really steady, you might see if you can take your hand off of your support, but it's right there if you need it. And for those of you who are feeling super steady, if you want, you can take your arms out and up, reaching for the sky. And if you're really feeling super steady, you want to challenge your balance, you can even look up. You can swirl some flowers with the wrist, circling your wrist in the air. If you are circling your wrist, you circle them the other way. And then palms together at the top. We're going to slide it down to our heart. Good. And then climb out of your tree. Step it out. Shake it out. Little tail wag. Shake it out. Shake out any stress, any tension. Okay, and then we're going to come into our second side before coming. So last thing before we come into Shavasana. So now go ahead and find the four corners of your standing left foot, right? Ground into that. Hug that outer left hip in. And then hands on the hips. Bend your right knee and spin your right knee and right toes to point to the right. Just pausing here. Find that drishti again. Make sure you're breathing. And then when you feel nice and steady, you can start to slide that right foot up the inseam of the left shin. Just again, remember, don't press against the knee joint. So either it's above or it's below the knee. And then finding your steadiness, keep that standing leg, outer hip hugging in, shoulder blades down the back. Again, if you find your drishti, remember to breathe, find your gaze, soft gaze. And then if you like, you can again start to let your arms grow up, reaching for the sun. And if you're feeling super steady, you can gaze up. You can also make flowers by circling those wrists in the air. And then offer fruit, circle the wrist in the other direction. And then if your arms are lifted, palms together at the top. And as you exhale, slide it down in front of your heart. Find your steadiness. And then nice and easy, step out of your tree, climb out. And again, shake it out. Okay. So from there, let's go ahead, just pound those hips a little bit. Shake out any stress, any tension. Okay, so final resting pose. We just have a few minutes. You can either come down flat like we normally do for Shavasana, or if you like, you can have your legs up the wall. Or if you have a chair, you can also have your legs, you can lay on the floor with your legs up a chair like this. So it's up to you. If you're doing legs up the wall, you're going to get yourself as close to the wall as possible. And then you're just going to come onto your back and you're going to roll and try to get your butt close to the wall. So you're going to have to like walk yourself in, shimmy in. And sometimes people can't get right up against the wall, and that's okay. So if you've got like some tight hamstrings, you might be some distance from the wall, but you're just doing your best. Or you can just take normal Shavasana, nice and flat on the floor. So do what feels best for you, but make sure that you set yourself up nicely. So if you're flat on the floor, maybe have a folded blanket underneath your head. And if you're flat on the floor, you could have like something underneath your knees just to help release the low back. And I'm sorry I didn't say before, but hopefully y'all have something to cover your eyes with. So maybe a towel or a piece of clothing or something just to help cover your eyes so you can drop into Shavasana. So get yourself situated. And then as you come into your final resting pose, go ahead and take a deep breath in and out. So set yourself on up. So now, if your legs are up the wall, just let the feet stack over the hips. If your legs are on a chair, just let the feet kind of relax and roll out from each other. And same if you're flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in wherever you're at. And exhale, release it out. And then soften your face, soften the muscles of the face. Soften your eyes. Relax the tongue. Soften the space between your eyebrows. And allowing your eyeballs to start to sink towards the back of the skull. To gently bring your inner gaze to rest into the heart center. welcome to linger here in this position and listen to Katie's talk from where you are. For those of you who want to come up, you can gently begin to find your way up. Take your time. Don't disturb the nervous system. To be here with all of you. Namaste. I'm going to turn things back to Katie. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat, so much for another wonderful session. That was really great. And give me just a moment. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the book that I chose for this week. So this week's theme is the Anja chakra, the third eye chakra. It is associated with intuition, insight, and self-knowledge. You can think of this chakra as your sixth sense. When it is functioning well, you can trust your inner wisdom or your gut instinct, and when it is blocked, you can feel closed-minded. So I chose Don't Trust Your Gut, Using Data to Get What You Really Want in Life by Seth Stevens Davidowitz. Davidowitz is an American data scientist, economist, and author. He is a New York Times op-ed contributor and a former data scientist at Google. This is his second book, released in May of this year. When faced with big life choices, things like who should I marry, what makes me happy, where should I live, we can feel overwhelmed, scared, or burdened. We consult our family, friends, and colleagues. We read online forums and self-help books, searching for the answer, and usually just end up going with our gut. But what if you could use data to help make better life decisions? Davidowitz argues that our gut is usually wrong because our intuitions are often influenced by false impressions. He says that we can't always trust our gut. We tend to be too optimistic and latch on to the information that we want to believe, stating that data frees us from our biases of our own minds. Instead, he suggests using information culled from enormous amounts of data available on a range of topics to help give you the answers. In this book, he uses data set analysis to advise on areas such as marriage and relationships, professional success, happiness, and athletic talent. He urges people to just be aware of this data to help inform their decisions. When asked in a podcast interview what he means when he says we can't trust our gut, Davidowitz said, well, I think it's just more that we should be aware of the data as we go through our day-to-day lives. Say you're opening up a business. Let's say you've seen a movie about a successful record store back when those were a big deal, and you say, that seems fun. I'm going to try a record store. You should know that you should know that the data of every business in the United States, the record stores have the lowest average lifespan. The average record store lasts 2.75 years. The average dentist business lasts 19.5 years. Now that has to be information that you consult when you're making a major decision like that. Don't trust your gut. Using data to get what you really want in life gives us a new perspective on how to help ourselves, and in the end, the numbers don't lie. It is available in audio, ebook, and physical formats right now in the library collection, so you can check it out for yourself. All right, so with that, I will say thank you so much again for joining us for Reach and Read, and a big thank you to Kat for another great session. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Thursday, December 8th at 10 a.m., so we hope to see you then. So until then, to find a library location near you, sign up for a library card, or to learn about programs for all ages, just go to www.saclibrary.org. And so for Kat, myself, and the Sacramento Public Library, thank you so much and be well. Bye.